An 80-year-old elderly woman married a 25-year-old young man, and no one could believe what happened. Such a situation arose on the wedding night that you will not understand unless you watch the video until the end. This event is a lesson for us. So, if you are watching our video for the first time, please like and subscribe to the EN Moral Stories YouTube channel. As a result, you will be able to watch new educational Islamic stories and educational events first. So, let's see what happened to that young man after marrying an 80-year-old woman. To know that, keep watching today's video till the very end without skipping. Raihan was only a 25-year-old young man on whom the whole family depended. After the death of his father, the burden of the family fell on his shoulders. His mother, Zubaida Khatun, was suffering from a serious illness, and the entire savings had been spent on her treatment. Samia was still in school. Her fees, books, clothes, and other expenses were a huge burden for Raihan. At the age of just 25, life had transformed him in such a way that the mark of that responsibility was evident on his face. He was somehow running the family by working hard and doing small jobs all day long. The dark circles under his eyes and the lines of worry on his forehead were telling that. He had broken from the inside. But then what happened was a unique sign of Allah's mercy. Raihan. Every day he knocked on various doors in the city in search of work. One day he got tired and went to a cheap tea shop. He took out the coins from his pocket and started counting. He was checking whether there was enough money to buy tea. Just then his eyes fell on a woman who was staring at him from a distance, looking at him. It was clear that he is no ordinary woman. Her name is Samira Malik. He is a well-known name in the business world. Expensive burqa. Raihan was stunned to see the aristocratic jewelry and confident face. Samira came and asked, "Are you Raihan Ahmed?" Raihan replied in a tired voice, "Yes, I am." Samira looked at him for a while, then slowly said, "I know what is happening in your life now. I know all about your mother's illness, your sister Samia's education, and the burden of debt." Raihan shuddered. He asked, "Who are you? And how do you know so much about me?" Samira smiled slightly and said, "If you want, I can change your destiny." He paused for a moment and said, "There is only one condition. You have to marry me." Raihan was shocked to hear this. He said, "What are you saying? You are the age of my grandmother." Samira said sternly this time, "But understand this much, I am not joking. This is a simple proposal for you. If you agree, I will take the responsibility of your mother's treatment with my own hands. I will bear the entire cost of your sister's education. I will pay off all your debts." Raihan's chest felt heavy. He slowly asked, "What do I have to do in return?" Samira said, "Just one thing. You have to marry me. There will be a legal nikah, and even after that, I will not interfere with your freedom. You can stay separate if you want. You can live your life as you wish." Samira said in a calm voice, "But I have some conditions that you have to accept." It was extremely difficult to fulfill them in reality, as easy as it sounded to hear his words. Raihan got up and left from there without saying anything. Samira also left in her expensive car. Days were passing, but the suffering of Raihan's life was not ending. The threats of the lenders, the mother's illness, and the cost of Sister Samia's education were all suppressing him. Raihan thought that maybe Samira's proposal is the last resort for his family. If I agree, he thought, then maybe my mother can survive, and my sister's future will be saved. Finally, leaving behind his pride and hesitation, he went to Samira. He said in a calm voice, "I accept all your conditions." A legal nikah was completed in the presence of witnesses. All terms and documents were signed and they were legally married. This was the first time Raihan set foot in a luxurious palace. Seeing the huge palace-like building in front of his eyes, the sparkling marble floor, the chandeliers and the golden carvings, an unknown fear arose in his heart. He thought to himself, "Did I make a mistake, or will my nightmare end in this palace?" It was night, and there was silence all over the palace. Raihan was standing on the balcony of the palace trying to find himself in the moonlight, as if the pomp around him was suffocating him. Even after having so much, there was a void inside his chest. Suddenly, his eyes fell on that heavy door on the second floor. 2 guards were standing around the locked door, whose eyes were a sign of caution. Even after so long, Raihan could not understand what is hidden behind that door. Any mystery, any past, or someone's captivity. The next morning, Samira was preparing to go out. Raihan asked him, "Why is that door on the second floor always closed?" Samira suddenly stopped. A kind of uneasiness cast a shadow on his eyes and face. After being silent for a while, he said, "Raihan, there are some doors in this palace that increase the pain if asked. It is better not to know some things." Raihan bowed his head without saying anything. He realized that there is such a chapter in Samira's life which has been kept hidden from everyone's eyes. On the other hand, Samira was always patient in expressing her love. She wanted Raihan to come to her of his own free will. She did not believe in forcefully achieving anything. She used to sit down to eat together every day, used to inquire about him, but never imposed his emotions. Raihan was also understanding this silent language of love of Samira. But he himself was in a kind of war. On one hand, his past, and on the other hand, the mystery of this new life. But Raihan doesn't know that soon he will face such a truth which will change his outlook on life. The story hidden behind that locked door carries not only the history of this palace, but also the soul of Samira. It was night once again, and deep silence prevailed all over the palace. Raihan slowly walked towards his room, but suddenly his eyes fell on another part of the palace where only one room was lit. He stopped. He saw the light was coming from Samira's room. That room is located in the very center of the palace where no one is allowed to go. Samira wanted Raihan to come to her room voluntarily one day. She would wait impatiently, but Raihan never moved towards that room. He had kept himself under strict control. However, there was another room in the palace which was always tightly locked. Raihan has repeatedly tried to enter the room, but every time someone came and said, "Huzur, it is strictly forbidden to go to that room." Even after Raihan asked repeatedly, no one gave any correct answer. One night he dared to go to that room secretly and stood in front of the door. Through the crack in the door, he heard Samira talking to someone, but the tone of his voice was so mysterious that Raihan's heart beat faster. He could not understand what was happening, but understood that Samira has hidden a big part of her life from Raihan. Questions arose in his mind. Is Samira hiding something? Why doesn't she allow anyone to come near this room? Is she running away from her past? Raihan stood silently beside the door, taking silent breaths. A storm of doubt continued in his mind. Is there a deep conspiracy hidden behind the marriage that he had accepted with a compromise? Samira, whose face always had a mysterious smile. Actually, she was a brave woman. Her age is touching 80, but every day he would wait in Raihan's eyes to see a new hope. Raihan thought, even after staying away for so long, he has to talk to her openly today. Only he can probably tell him the real mystery of that room. In the dark silence of the palace, Raihan could only hear the sound of the clock ticking. In the third part of the night, breaking the silence, he prepared to leave for that room. He met a close Kadima of Samira. Kadima's name was Nurjahan, age approximately 22. A very beautiful and calm girl. Raihan requested him, "Nurjahan, I want to meet my wife Samira." Right now, even though Nurjahan was surprised, she nodded and said, "I will inform him of your words, Huzur." Nurjahan quickly reached Samira. No one else has ever been able to enter this room except him. Knocking lightly on the door, she said, "Raihan Saheb wants to meet you again. He has come himself." Samira remained silent for a moment, then smiled slightly. A strange glow flashed in his eyes. She kissed Nurjahan's hand and said, "Send him quickly. Tonight is a special night for me." Nurjahan returned and greeted Raihan and said, "You can go, Huzur Begum Sahiba is waiting for you. Anything else need?" Raihan was a 22-year-old handsome, strong and very patient young man. On the one hand, his character had a mark of ethics and devotion. On the other hand, his heart had immense curiosity. He went to Samira's door and knocked slowly. The door opened. Samira opened the door with her own hands and gave him a warm, heartfelt welcome. A mild aroma of perfume was coming from inside the room, like a mixture of rose, sandalwood, and musk. The atmosphere around was so calm that time had stopped. Samira was standing in a white Arabic dress. There was an otherworldly light on his face and the reflection of love in his eyes. Raihan stopped. Surprised, "Samira Appa, you look like a 20-year-old girl. How is that possible?" Samira smiled softly and said, "Love has no age, Raihan. When a woman loves someone with all her heart, her soul is filled with youth. I have not only made you the heir to this palace, rather, I have also made you the owner of my heart." Raihan sat down on the ornate seat in a corner. Samira came and sat slowly beside him. A kind of silent emotion spread around. The silence was not heavy. Rather, it was sweet and calm. Samira said, "I never thought. At this late stage of life, someone will look into my eyes in such a way as you are seeing." Raihan slowly said, "I never thought. Seeing the depth of such eyes, I will forget all my questions." Samira, "Appa, tonight I just want to hear what you have hidden." Tears came to Samira's eyes. A strange loving smile remained on his lips. She said in a soft voice, "I have lost a lot in waiting for this love. Raihan, youth, time, relationships, but today I have found that light of love in your eyes, which was once snatched away from me too." Still, the heart was throbbing in an unknown rhythm. Raihan reached out and took Samira's hand. There was a new feeling of warmth in the palms of both hands, as if it was the moment before an endless beginning. Raihan slowly said, "Forgive me, Samira. I know I haven't come in front of you for so long, but today when I am standing in front of you, it feels like everything has become true. You are like a prayer covered in light. You are looking so beautiful today." Samira slowly put her head on Raihan's shoulder, said in a calm voice, "When a woman is called mine by her beloved, then she is not made of age, created with moments of love. Just be in this moment, Raihan, because I want to give you the love that no one has ever been able to give." Raihan looked deeply into Samira's eyes with love and gently kissed her forehead, closed his eyes and took a deep breath in supreme peace, as if all the accumulated waiting of so many days has been fulfilled today. In a soft voice he said, "Tonight, I am unconditionally yours without any questions." Outside it started raining, heavily. The fragrance of roses mixed with the wind spread an otherworldly peace all around. The silence of the night became even deeper. The light of the room was slowly dimming. Time seemed to have stopped. But in the eyes of Raihan and Samira, there was a boundless faith, a belief in love. Raihan gently placed Samira's hand on his chest. In a deeply emotional voice he said, "This heartbeat is only yours. As long as it lasts, I will only be yours." A flash of light flickered in Samira's eyes. In that light, even though there was no youthful enthusiasm, there was a gentle radiance of mature love. Touching Raihan's forehead to his chest, he said in a soft voice, "I have found self-satisfaction only twice in my life. The first time when you called me your wife, and the second time when you said I am yours." Raihan gently caressed her hair and said lovingly, "I swear every touch of your hair is very dear to me. It feels like I am getting the scent of paradise." Samira's lips were slightly crying. Only one word came out of his mouth. "All my tastes are fulfilled today. You have filled every void in my heart to the brim." Raihan smiled softly and looked at him. the sacred feeling in his eyes that is born only with the touch of first love. He came so close to Samira that the breaths of both of them mingled together. Raihan whispered, "From now on, every day of my life is only you. I am incomplete without you." Today, I really felt it. That night, they did not want any promises from each other, did not take any oath, because the silence of their eyes had said everything. The room was no longer just an ordinary room then, as if it had become a living testimony of love. Outside, something like pink fog was floating in the air, creating a magical hazy murmur. Raihan felt that today he is realizing anew. No one may know in advance when and how love comes, but it is clear today that this love is not one-sided. Samira then placed a finger lightly on her lips as if saying, "Don't say anything now. Just be by my side. Nothing needs to be said. Just feel it." Raihan's eyes widened in surprise. Samira, the woman standing in front of him, is not an 80-year-old woman but a 25-year-old lively young woman. Deep emotions in every move. The radiance of unfulfilled thirst accumulated for years and years in every touch. Samira picked up Raihan in her arms. Not with any weak magical touch, but with an unprecedented touch of immense faith and infinite power. Tonight is undoubtedly a special night for them only by the grace of God. Raihan didn't need to do anything anymore, because Samira's love has already drowned him in a deep spiritual love, as if the waves of love are momentary like the sea. Raihan immediately heard a voice. "Above all, you have seen everything." He turned back. Samira was standing in a calm, brave posture. There was no fear or doubt in his eyes, as if he knew in advance that this moment would come. Raihan hid the picture and said, trembling, "This marriage is not a contract but a revenge." Samira replied in a soft voice, "Raihan, you have become very intelligent. I didn't think you would understand the truth so quickly." Raihan's heart was covered in a shadow of sorrow. He realized that the love here was actually a belief and a difficult test written by the will of the Creator. Samira's voice trembled and her face was filled with disappointment. He said, "You took advantage of my helplessness, Raihan. You have only used me as a weapon to take revenge on my father. Now you know everything? Listen, your father was not just a helper in my life. He was my first and last love." He slowly started saying, "Then I was only 25 years old. I had become completely alone after losing my husband. Your father came and stood by my side, and I thought that was probably love. But when I proposed to him for marriage, he rejected me. That day I vowed that if he is not mine, I will take revenge for his blood." There was deep sadness in Samira's eyes, but still steadfastness in her voice. He said, "When I first saw you as a child, I had decided that you would be the path of my revenge. I had married you so that your signature would never give me a chance to leave." Samira paused for a moment, then smiled faintly, said, "But you have done something that your father could not do. You have respected me. You have proved that humanity can conquer even the hatred inside me." At that moment, a mixed light of surprise and love was seen in Raihan's eyes. He said, "You wanted to imprison me, but today I see that you are rather imprisoned in your own love. Your revenge spirit and Krina have been defeated today, Samira. Now there is only love in your eyes." Raihan married Kiran. There was no more loneliness or silence in that palace. Raihan's mother and sisters also joined there. Once where Samira's unfulfilled love used to reverberate, now Kiran's laughter and Raihan's peaceful life have created a new melody. Raihan's affection and humanity completely changed Kiran's heart. The woman who had been burning in the fire of revenge for so long finally entered a new world of love. This story teaches us that truth, faith, and selfless love are the real power. Many times we may want to hurt others, but in the end we get entangled in the bond of their affection and love. When a relationship is full of respect, understanding and sincerity, all wounds heal, and the heart regains life. Raihan took Samira's hand and said, "I am hugging you to my heart. Your heart is clear now, and I have forgiven you." A gleam of tears was seen in Samira's eyes. He said, "Even if death comes now, I will have no regrets. My whole life is filled with your love." With the passage of time, the palace became Raihan's own home. One day, Samira fell ill, and within a few weeks, she passed away forever. Raihan said at the moment of his last breath, "I have forgiven you, Samira. You forgive me too." But the end of this story is not here. Samira's 12-year-old maid Kiran, who was always engaged in Raihan's service. A new relationship started with Raihan. So far, they were in the shadow. From there, they came out together in the light. Raihan's forgiving heart was the biggest victory of his life, and the fire of revenge that had been burning in Samira's heart for so long was finally transformed into the mercy and love of Allah. Dear friends, if you like this educational and heartwarming story, please like and share the video, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.